Hello and happy Tuesday. Hi, my name is Wendy Lee and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. And I'm excited that you're joining me today for a little bit of paper crafting. Yay, 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 yay. Okay, let me check and make sure I am in the right place. I think maybe, see if I can find you guys. And hopefully this will start to pop in some news feeds and you guys will be able to jump in and join me for some fun today. I've got a good project for you. And why is my Facebook blank? Who knows? That doesn't look right. Well, maybe I'm finding it. There I am. Perfect. And hopefully you guys can find me as well. All right, looks like I've got, yay, there we are. Hey, Jennifer, so glad you found me. And I found you. So I think I'm in the right place. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So what are we doing today? So today I am going to show you how to make this super sweet sliding lock, vertical sliding lock card. So I'm going to slide that down and then that opens up like that. And hopefully I'm in camera because I can't see. So if not, no worries, because I'm going to show you again once I switch cameras. But I wanted to just pop in and say hello first. All right, so we should jump on in. Yeah, let's get started. I'm going to switch the camera, so give me just a moment. Hey, Mary, so glad you're here today. I'm going to have to do a little finagling today because normally I have a laptop set up separately, but for whatever reason, it is not connecting to our internet. We had some issues, so who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I can't even explain it. So, all right. So for this project, we are featuring the Flowering Cactus product medley, which is very exciting, I think. So this product medley is in our January to June mini catalog. Sorry if this is making it a little shaky. I'm trying to add this laptop here and make sure that I can see us on Facebook. All right, perfect. I can see the questions or comments. Excellent. So this is the Flowering Cactus product medley. As I was saying, it's in our January to June mini catalog. And the medley is, I believe, $70. And it comes with the stamp set, the coordinating dies, and then this goodie pack, I'm going to call it. So it has a pack of 6x6 gorgeous designer series papers. And it's got these felt sheets that have these little flowers that all poke out, and I've barely used any of these, and some couple spools of twine. So one of the cool things, or some of the cool things I think about, let me pull out some of these papers. I've used quite a bit of this kit. This is the product that we are featuring this month as part of the All-Star Tutorial Bundle. So when you purchase, make a purchase from me in my online store or directly contact me and I can place it for you. If your order is $50 or more, you get the tutorial bundle for free, and it's 12 glorious projects. They are really good each month. We've got a nice design team, so you get a wide variety of products or project ideas, and they're video tutorials, so you can follow right along with us if you'd like. So you can earn that for free with a $50 purchase, or you can choose to purchase the tutorial outright. It's $15. So if you prefer to do that, or if you're outside of the US, that's a way that you can get your hands on that. So this is one of my favorite prints, and this is the one that we're using to do some of our elements on our cards. Let me bring this back in. So this little cacti here and the flowers, I cut right out of this designer series paper. So the dies match not only the stamps, but some of the papers as well, which is cool. And then, you know, you've got these fabulous prints, and you've got 8 of each sheet, I believe it is. So lots and lots of good stuff. Another really cool thing about this particular product category is that there's a refill kit. So you can get all these great goodies. You can get just the refill. So if you love this designer paper and all these little, aren't these cute? So I've punched out like maybe a sheet of each, and I still have all of these that I haven't even punched out yet. And I've made tons and tons of cards. we made a super cute card for our Forget-Me-Not Club this month using this product medley that I think is going to post in the next week or so. So you'll see it soon. I don't think I have it on my table to sneak peek you. Nope, I don't have it right here. But today we're going to do this one. So I think it was Sunday. Sunday I posted a sliding lock card that we had done in our Forget-Me-Not class or club this month. So this one's just a little different. So I wanted to show you guys how to do it because some of the products that you need to recreate this are on the last chance list and only available while supplies last. Woo-hoo! All right. So, hey, Gwen, so glad you're here today. So here's how this works. Again, I'm going to pull this down. So just pull that down and it slides open and then this releases the lock. Cute, right? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to bring in my pool party card base and I've already scored all this for you. I got a little bit of a dull edge, I think, on my cutter. Let's see if I've got my cheat sheet or if I just buried it. I might have just buried it. There it is. I've got it. I've got it. All right. So my main piece here is 3 7/8 by 10 inches long, and I've got it scored at 5 1/8. So there is a fold line right there. So it's not equally in half. The front is just a smidge shorter than the back. And I did that intentionally. That way everything folds closed nicely. Then I've got another piece that's 3 7/8 by 2 3/8, and I've got a score line at 3/8 down, okay? So this is going to create the top section of my card. So what I want to do is I'm going to adhere this right on the back, just adhere this right down. So you have a couple of choices. You could use tear and tape along here. You could use your stamp and seal. You could use liquid adhesive, whatever makes you happy. Before I adhere this down, I am going to go ahead and miter these corners. I'm just going to angle cut that tab just a smidge. That way, if I'm off in my cutting at all, it's not going to show through the back side. And I think I'm just going to use my stamp and seal for this one. And I'm going to put the adhesive on here, if I can get that to work, because it's going to be a little bit wider than what my tab is probably. That way I can lay this right on the front and then just fold that back and I'm secure. So I've got a little sticky going. So I should grab a silicone craft sheet and lay that down. Let's do that just so I don't have too big of a mess on my table here. So that is the folded part of my card base. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to bring in this classic label punch. This guy is sadly on the retiring list, but you need something that's going to be able to create a slit. If you've been using Stampin' Up! Products for a while, you might have the word window punch that retired several years ago. You could use that in its place. You could use a die that has a slit to it if you've got one. But if you don't and you love this fold, this is a punch you want to get before it's gone. So Stampin' Up! Also updated the clearance rack today. So there are some good steals to be found today. So I'm going to slide this punch in all the way against that cardstock. And then I want to slide this down on my flap. So I'm punching in maybe a ½ inch or so up. I'm just going to squeeze that and punch that little divot right out of there. Okay. So let's fold this closed. I'm going to bring in a pencil and I'm going to trace this little V right there. I am thinking I've got a little bit of a glare. Let's see if I can fix this real quick on my video. See if this will make it a little easier for you to see. Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. Hopefully that's better. Maybe.
Great.
Oh, nope, I didn't mean to do that. Oopsie. All right, so hopefully you can see that a little bit better and the glare is not as bad, but it may not have made a difference on your end. So there's my little pencil mark. So again, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to slide this punch all the way in and see my pencil mark here. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to slide this so it lines up. And I'm just going to punch that out. Great. Super fun and easy. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in some designer paper. So I've got two pieces, and it looks like I cut one of them incorrectly, which happens sometimes. So I've cut this one too long because I cut it the length of the tab, or included the tab length in there. So I'm gonna need to go trim this down, but I can go ahead and put this one on. So this piece here is going to adhere right to the lower flat. So I'm gonna do that with my Stampin' Seal. Make sure I'm in camera here. So we will just add some Stampin' Seal to the back. And you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit on both sides of that slit, just to keep that down in place so it's not gonna cause me any problems. Great. So I do have the supply list and cut dimensions in the video. So you have everything you need, and hopefully they are all correct. So this piece should be 3 5/8 by 4 5/8 if my notes are correct. So now that I've put my designer paper on, I need to cut that slit back out of it. So the reason I didn't do them with both layers at the same time is that sometimes that could be a little too much for your punch. And this will help save some of the wear and tear if you do them individually like that. And it's easy to line up since we've butted the punch all the way in to the side. So now I've got my slit on the front, and I just need to repeat that on the top with my designer paper there as well. Now you definitely want to check to make sure that if you're using a directional print, that you know the top and bottom orientation of your card, right? So if we were going to do this way, right, I would have wanted to cut my paper a different direction, unless I wanted it sideways like that. I could have done that. But for this, I want it to go this direction. So I'm going to adhere it like that. Perfect. So let me go grab a paper trimmer. And there we go. So this piece was supposed to be 1 7/8. Let's see what I cut it. So it looks like I cut it 2 1/2. Quite a bit incorrect. Let's double check that before I go too crazy on my cutting. Yeah, I think 1 7/8 is correct. That's what I have or should have in the directions or supply list cut dimensions. Yay, that looks correct. So 3 5/8 by 1 7/8. Go ahead and place this down. And again, I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive around this tab. Oops, pulled my tape. Use the little silicone craft sheet. That's a great trick. It helps advance. So if you pull your tape, sometimes you'll pull the adhesive down off the tape on the inside, and you'll have to advance it a little bit. And I'm finding it's so much easier to use that silicone craft sheet to advance it. I don't end up with sticky fingers. I don't end up wasting a whole bunch of tape. All right, so let's flip this over. I got to make sure I'm going from the same direction. Slide this all the way in and just punch that back out through that designer paper. So this is that was the hard part of the card, right? I think so. Hey, Elise, so glad you're here. Hey, Kathy. Yay. Oh, it's cold where you guys are? Oh, wow. We're having such wonderful weather in North Carolina. I'm sorry. I feel a little sad to even say that I'm having wonderful weather here, but we are, and I'm going to keep it. Thank you. All right, let's add, whoops, I did it again. Let's add a little bit of adhesive to the back here, and I'm going to adhere this. I'm going to put a little extra right over that double layer there. I've got a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 Highland Heather cardstock, and that's really my main card base. So this is actually going to fold up. Instead of making the pool party my main, it is what opens and closes, but it's not my outside layer. So I thought that was fun to change that up just a smidge as well. Okay, next, let's go ahead and start working on the mechanism that's going to slide up and down. So I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. So next, I've got a piece of basic white cardstock that I've die cut with the second largest circle in the stitch shapes dies. All right, is there anyone else other than myself that is just devastated that these are going away? I got to tell you, I'm super, super sad, super, super, super sad. So I know I'll find a new love, but I got to tell you, if you don't have these, get them before they're gone. They're wonderful. You won't regret owning those. All right, so we've got our circle. and I want to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. So I am using the sentiments from Free as a Bird. Now, there are some great sentiments, don't get me wrong, in the Flowering Cactus stamp set. But I wanted something that was a little bit smaller, and I really wanted just a thank you card. So I did use one of the sentiments on the inside of the card from the Flowering Cactus, but for the outside, I really liked this little thank you from Free as a Bird. So that's what I've pulled in. So I've got that on my block, ready to go. So I'm just going to stamp that sentiment in Highland Heather ink, so it matches, everything's all pretty. Yes, I know, Jennifer, I'm right there with you. Super sad about that die set. You get so attached sometimes to your favorite stamping products. It's crazy. All right, but that just means there's going to be something else fabulous. We know there is eventually. All right, next, I have the layering circles, and I have cut the scallop circle from that. I believe that's the third largest as well. And we're going to layer that behind there. These are staying, so we'll get to use these a little bit longer. And I'm just going to adhere these two together with some liquid adhesive. You could use Stampin' Seal. It's fine. It's whatever makes you happy. But I find on circles, I kind of like the liquid adhesive. So I'm just centering that more or less. See if I can lift that up a little bit. I don't know if it helps if it's on the silicone craft sheet. Probably not. It's hard to see that green with my colored background. All right, so there's my medallion. It's going to slide up and down, right? Next, I've got a little strip of Mossy Meadow. It's a 1/2 inch wide, 2 inches long, and I am going to punch the end. I'm going to use this Banner's Pick-a-Punch. I love this punch. And I'm using the V side instead of the banner because, and this might be really short and hard to do because when I did it the first time, it was a much longer piece of paper. Let's see if I can get that back out. I lost it. It might be a little short and difficult to do this way. Yeah, it is. It's super hard to do because it's shorter. Look at that. It's shorter than the base. All right. So I would definitely use a scrap that's longer to punch, and then you can come back and do that. But it is what it is. Let me try something. I've never done this. I wonder if I can slide this in this way to get the V, the opposite. No, that's not going to work. I tried. All right. We're going to put this away. So if your piece is longer, you can use the punch, but you got to have something to grab onto, and I don't. So I'm just going to clip it. I'm not going to let it stress me out. I still want that little V shape. I'm a little crooked. This could turn back into a Skipper situation. So my mom may remember Skipper. So Skipper was my Barbie doll. And I wanted a Dorothy Hamill Barbie doll, and my mom wouldn't let me have one because I had a slew of Barbie dolls. So I gave Skipper a haircut to try to give her a Dorothy Hamill haircut. And so Skipper got a mohawk. It was not attractive, but that's what her hair turned out to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. I think I'm going to adhere it to the front here, but I'm going to hold off just one moment because I think I would like to add this maybe after I get the circle put together. So I'm going to slide that aside. I'm going to bring in a scrap of Pool Party cardstock and my 2 1/4 inch circle punch, also on the retiring list. Yes, I could have used a sticky note and created a handle. Jennifer, that would have been a good idea. Do you guys know what she means by creating a handle? So here, let me show you. I'll actually go ahead and do it and repunch that. Woo! So this blue that I just used, if I were to just temporarily adhere the end to that, right? Let's bring back in that punch. I can then have something to hold on to slide that in. And look at that. Kind of fixed my point. I'm going to go in a little deeper because I really whacked it. There we go. Now it's nice and pretty. Thank you, Jennifer, for reminding me of using a handle. All right. So now my banner's a little prettier. Nicer than it was with my clippage, the way I did it. All right. So here's what we want to do to make our slider mechanism. We want to take this circle and cover the slits because that will be the closed position. Now, if you need, whoops, let me show it to you. That's make sure I'm in camera. So that's just going to center right over that slit. So whatever you're using to make your slit, you can use any shape on the inside. You just want to make sure it's long enough that it covers the slit. So you could put some painter's tape down, some washi tape, sticky notes to hold this in place if you'd like. I'm just going to close this, lay it right there, okay? And then I want to take some of my foam adhesive. There we go. I've got a piece right here. So these come in sheets, and I've actually just cut through the foam a little bit here, about 3/8 of an inch wide. And I'm going to clip off a piece. And if it's too wide, I'll clip it down. But my goal is to have it fit right inside that slit, and I want it all the way to the top because that is my stop, which means that's where it's going to end, right? So let's go ahead and place this in. I took the backing paper off the back, still on the front. I've taken it off the back. So now this circle, when it's all attached, will slide up and down in that channel based on that foam adhesive, right? Makes sense? I hope so. Okay, now, as I work on this, I can go ahead and adhere this circle on here if I want to, or I can slide this down and kind of check my placement. I need to make sure that the circle is going to clear this opening. Now, I've more than cleared the opening on this one. I've got plenty of space there. So I really didn't have to worry about it on this one. But I wanted to tell you that because the card that I shared that we did for Forget Me Not actually is a bit difficult in some aspects because of the dragonfly wings. So as this moves up, it will stop again based off this stopper here. So let's see what happens if I go ahead and adhere my circle. I'm just seeing what I got. I don't really need it that far down. All right, let's see if I can do this without making a mess. I'm going to take this off the backing paper. I'm going to lay my circle down. And then before I press down too much, because I want to cover that slit, right, with this circle. So it's a little pressure. Now let me pull that down. Yes, I clear that very, very easily. But that's something you want to check depending on the shape and how big of the slit you're doing and what your shape size is. So that's something to check. All right, so I hope that all made a little bit of sense and not crazy nonsense. Yes? Okay. All right. So I want to go ahead and add this pull tab. I just thought it was nice to have this at the bottom to give me something to grab onto. So I'm going to use a little liquid adhesive. You could use Stampin' Seal. If you really wanted to make sure it wasn't going to go anywhere, you could use the tear and tape. And I just want it sliding down just a smidge here. So I'm just going to lay that down in place. Okay. So that's going to be my pull tab that's going to stick out below. Next, let's bring in our little elements that we're going to put on our decoration here. So I've got the cactus that I've die cut out of the designer paper, the flowers I've die cut out of the designer paper, and then one of these super cute little felt elements right out of the kit. So let me bring those dies back in so you guys can see them. So right here, so the design, that was the die for the cactus, the flower, the other flower. So there's some really cool elements in this. All right, so I want to adhere my cactus on with some dimensional dots. And I think I'm going to offset it over to the side just a smidge here because I think that's fun. All right, let's bring in our dimensional dots. So as you guys are shopping for all your supplies that you need to recreate this project, don't forget that it's my Awesome April time. So if you're not familiar with Awesome April, first of all, it's awesome, right? But in April, and I've been doing this for several years, my customers look forward to it. Those that have been with me for quite some time know that I do this. And what it is for every $25 that you spend with me, you get a choice of one of my items, your choice of one of my items out of my retired stash. And I got lots and lots of retired stuff. So I have a post on my blog called Awesome April. And so you can go out there and see what all the choices are. As things are taken up, I am removing them from the supply list there so that you know that they're sold out. So, all right. So let me go ahead and put some dimensionals on this little flower and get that on there. So yeah, so you just place your online order, or you call me and I can place your order for you. I'm happy to help you with that. And again, every $25 before shipping and tax that you spend, you get an item from my stash. I will package it up. I will let you know what the cost of shipping is to get it to you and PayPal invoice you. And then once you pay it, I will drop it in the mail. It comes right to you. All right, this little flower here, I'm going to tuck under a little bit, just a smidge. I'm going to use a little liquid adhesive to put that down. I'm going to do that one flat. You could pop it up as well. And you don't have to pop all these up, you know, where I've added the dimensionals if you don't want to. That's up to you on how you want to do it. I think that's cute. And then I want to put this one up here. And you could use glue dots, but I'm finding that I really like the liquid adhesive best for this because I can just put a glob, right? Technical term there. I'm going to lay this right down on, and then I'm going to not touch it for a moment because the more I touch it, the bigger mess I make. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to get out my clear Wink of Stella. Who else loves Wink of Stella? A little shimmer. And we will just add a little shimmer to this top flower here. I don't know if you can see that in the video. Let's see if once I get it colored in, if I can hold it up and you guys can see the shimmer. I sure hope you can. It's so pretty. It adds such a nice touch. You could put a little bit or a lot. Can you guys see that? I don't know if the video catches it very well, but hopefully you can see that. It's so pretty. You could put it on the other flower as well. I'm just putting it on the front one. Now, Wink of Stella, when it comes, when you first get it, it has this little black band down here. Whoops, I totally unscrewed that, didn't I? I didn't mean to do that. So there is a little black band, and you have to unscrew this, right? Pull the black band out, or it's not going to, none of the liquid's going to come out. And then you squeeze it. Now, learn from my mistakes. I like to squeeze it either over a clear block or the silicone craft sheet, because every time I do it, it oozes and I get this big puddle. And if you're on your project, sometimes it can be so excessive that it kind of destroys things, and you got to get a little creative with how to fix them, which is fine, but so much better if you put the blob on a block or a silicone craft sheet and then can use it as a paintbrush to lift it. Then you can do some twine from this kit. It's like a thread. It's in both the coral color and the normal linen thread. And I'm going to take about 2 lengths, about 9 inches. I'm eyeballing this. Doesn't have to be exact. You can always clip it off later, but I don't want to waste it either. So I've got my 2 pieces. I've got them together, and I'm just going to tie a bow. So I'm going to make my loops, crisscross them, make my bow. If you're not happy with your bow, hold the knot, pull the ends, tighten that. And then I'm just going to glue dot, or as I like to say, booger, that right on the front, right? I didn't see Jean join us today. Jean was asking me about if I was doing a paper and ribbon share this year, and I am. I just posted it today. So you can find that on my blog as well. I didn't add a link to that, but if somebody is interested, if you can't find it, let me know. I'll share that with you. And I will also be doing an in color club. I haven't posted that yet. I'm working on it. There's lots of really good new in color items in the new catalog. So perfect. Let's just clip those little ends off. They're a little bit long, although I kind of like them dangling down like that. Cute, right? So that holds it up there, and then I just grab this, pull it down. I can open up my card. Let's finish the inside. All right. So I have a piece of basic weight cardstock right here. Let me kind of put these dimensionals out of the way because they are in a mess. Okay, so this piece of white is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 there. And we want to go ahead and stamp the inside of our card. So I'm going to pull in my, let's start with our sentiment. So I'm pulling in Mossy Meadow, get that out of the way. And I'm using the You Are a Rare Find, My Dear Friend, which is out of the Flowering Cactus stamp sets. And I'm just going to stamp this right down in the corner. Nice. Seems a little crooked. I got it. Actually, I got a lot crooked. Let's flip it over and try again. Let me see if I can get my head over the top a little bit. There we go. A little bit better. Still a little bit crooked, but that's okay. It's handmade. You got to let that go, right? Those are the people that nitpick our handmade cards are ones that don't get them because it's not right. All right, so now I'm pulling back in Highland Heather and the little flower image. Hey, Nancy, so glad you were able to jump in on your lunch break. I'm gonna stamp these flowers right here in the corner. Cute, right? So it matches the front. And then we're just gonna adhere this right down on the inside and cover up our boo-boo on the other side. So anytime you get a card in the mail from me, so when you guys place an order, I always send you a card in the mail. Or if you're part of my Paper Pumpkin Club or my Forget Me Not Card Club, you get a card in the mail from me. So I like to, as you see, I make some mistakes here and I cover them up. So if you ever pull apart my cards, you never know what you're going to find, right? All right, so we've got a beautiful inside, plenty of space to add a note. I can just close this right up and lock it in place. Oh no, that wasn't dry and I moved it. All right. I'm not touching it again until it dries. I'd never pushed down on it. I just laid it there. So I think it'll dry quickly now. So I hope that you guys love this. If you love fun folds, I invite you to join my Forget Me Not Club. We do some fabulous fun folds every month. I try to do a technique or two as well. We revisit some things sometimes just to remind ourselves that there are some fun things out there to do that we forget about every once in a while. But I do try to make sure I'm keeping you guys up to date with all the fabulous things that are going on out in the fun fold area. Oh yeah, you like the vertical version? Yeah, thank you, Kathy. I like it as well. Most of them that I've seen has been the side to side. Now this will sometimes slide down. That one's holding up pretty good. But you know, I think this is an easy one for people to figure out how to do because they can see this. You know, sometimes a recipient gets one of our fabulous fun folds and they don't know how to open it. So I know that the dragonfly one I shared on Sunday, several people didn't realize how to open it. So I think this one maybe is a little more, I don't know, obvious. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys love it. Let me bring in the original. Close it up as well, if I can get it closed. Yep. So I've got both of those. Slightly different from each other, but not bad. Pretty similar. And you could change this up. There's so many fabulous papers in there. You could change it up and do a coral version. You could mix and match some of the other lovely colors that are in there. So, all right, you guys love it? Yay! So glad, so glad, so glad. So if you love this, please share the video with your crafty friends. Invite them over to join us on Tuesdays or watch the replay. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I'd love for you to join my, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And hopefully I will see you all again soon. So have a fabulous week and I will catch you next Tuesday for a little more paper crafting fun. Bye for now.